welcome to Find Out Nation. I'm one of your hosts, Jamie,
I'm one of your hosts, Nicole.
and we are here to talk about what happens when a nation fucks around. They find out. Nicole,
Mm-hmm.
how are we doing today?
We're okay. You want your
Okay.
countdowns?
Yeah. I feel
Yeah.
like it's going to be good, right? I'm going to be good.
I think so.
Okay,
We
because
have
this is the face of a person experiencing some trauma. So the
yes. I'm gonna
countdown to
try.
freedom
Yeah.
will be delightful.
Oh God.
Uh-huh.
482 days.
Okay.
I know. It's not as good as I wanted.
It sounds bad. Like I feel
I
like
know.
last time was closer because I
I
think we had
know.
hit like that 500-day mark. But now that we're still like almost 500, it still sounds bad.
I know.
Hmm
169 since he
Oh,
took office.
that's not bad. Like we're at
And
least like over
yeah.
150 days. Like I'm
Yeah, yeah,
feeling good
yeah.
about that. Okay.
Yeah. And rest assured, he was able to get some golf in.
Of course he was.
He was able to get some golf in over the 4th of July weekend while Texas is getting its ass handed to it.
Indeed. Well,
Fuck
Cruz
that.
was on vacation. He went
I mean, he
to
was. Yeah, that's true.
Cancun.
He
So,
was. Yeah, it's
right,
fine. It's
right.
fine. So, yeah. So Trump got 2 days of golfing in, um, the 5th and the 6th. So we're now at 56 million estimated cost to the taxpayers in golfing fees.
Well, 56 million's a mere drop in the bucket.
That's so true. So happy July, everyone.
Happy July. So, for those of you who may not know, last week I was on vacation from work, which apparently meant I was also on vacation from my podcast editing
As you
duties.
should be. As you should
I
be.
know, but I
Take a
was
break from it all,
terrible. I
baby.
had plans. We met. We got our podcast done. I was like prepared. I did all my editing and then lost it in a fit of deletion. And so I just have to re-edit it and I'll get it out tonight before I release the podcast we're recording now, hopefully tomorrow night. But I wanted to apologize to all of our listeners who may have missed us last week. We did record and we, of course, were trying to take care of you all, but I suck.
Well, you are
So,
forgiven for being on
thank you.
vacation and then, accidentally deleting.
Accidentally deleting. Yeah.
Because your brain
Exactly.
was like, we really don't want to do this. Delete.
Indeed. Indeed. I'm like, this is so bad. Delete. That's
Oh my
right.
God.
Oh God. So last week when we were talking, the big beautiful bill had not passed. It was
Not
still in its
yes.
last leg of being
Yeah.
passed. Sadly, since then, it
Passed with
did.
screaming colors.
It did go through. It did pass.
Color us shocked.
Medicare has been cut. SNAP benefits
has
has
been
been
cut.
cut.
I mean,
Medicaid
fuck
has been
everybody.
cut.
Yes.
That's right. So I think we have
Give
talked
me
about
your
several.
tired, give me your hungry, give me your poor. Yeah, no, fuck off.
That's right. It's all this all the time. I think you and I have talked a lot about some of the major like cuts, but it sounded
Yeah.
like this week you had done some research into what some of the smaller
Yeah,
cuts
like
were.
some of the more like
that,
obscure shit. Yeah.
yeah.
So
So
I got a lot. I'm gonna try to like be quick about it. Like I don't
okay.
I'm gonna try not to get like super in the weeds with it. But
Okay.
I got on an article for the Center for American Progress.
Yeah.
So the defunding of Planned Parenthood clinics, which actually I saw something about this tonight on our local news here in Kansas City. Not necessarily a Planned Parenthood clinic, but it is a clinic that sees anyone, but specifically sees a lot of African American women. And most people, I mean, most listeners, I would assume, of the show know that African American women suffer higher mortality rates in childbirth
Right.
than white women do.
Yep.
And this clinic is probably going to have to close because of these changes, these cuts. So
do they provide abortions out of curiosity?
I don't know that, but
Okay.
what is happening with the Planned Parenthood is that it included a provision that defunds Planned Parenthood for 1 year. It would do it by prohibiting any health clinic that provides abortion care from accepting Medicaid funds for any other service they provide. Now, you can't use Medicaid federal funds at all for abortions, but they use Medicaid funds for women checks, for mammograms, for contraceptive care,
All the things you go to and even I would assume like pregnancy care. So
yeah,
even
100%.
like
Yes.
right, prenatal care.
You
so
get full, well-rounded OBGYN care at Planned Parenthood clinics. But all anybody on the right wants you to believe Planned Parenthood does is perform abortions, and that is
Yep.
not true. And so this is now going to cut their clinics for a year.
Great.
So it says
That seems great.
yeah, 1 in 3 Planned Parenthood centers is at risk of full closure, and it would take away a vital source of healthcare for more than 1 million people. So this says it would be exceptionally harmful to Medicaid enrollees, as the majority of people with Medicaid receive contraceptives, 85%, and STI services, 57%, from a Planned Parenthood clinic. So
Well,
there's that fun.
and you and I have talked about how contraceptives 99% of the time fall on the woman, even
Yes.
when we're talking about condoms.
Yes.
How many times? So you've been married since you were like a child, but
Yeah.
for those of us that did not get married like straight out of high school,
Yeah.
I can't tell you the number of times that I was the one that bought condoms, or I was
Oh,
the one
yeah.
that had the condom sitting next to my
Yeah.
bed, or I was the one that was providing condoms to my whoever
Yes.
partner to make sure they were
Yes.
wearing. So at the
Yes.
end of the day, and I think you and I have talked about this before, I have brought up the idea with my child, who is a man,
Yeah.
and he is 14 years old. And I get the idea that we wouldn't want to do any surgery or do anything permanent to him until he turns 18 years old. But at 18 years old, I feel like he has a decision to make. And I was like, hey, you should think about a vasectomy. Like, you should really think about the vasectomy, because then you never have to worry about well, you still do for STIs
Yeah.
and things like that. But at the
Yeah.
end of the day, you have an extremely low probability of ever impregnating anyone. And then the contraceptive's on you,
Yeah.
and it can be reversed later if it wants to be. Sure, there can be instances where people can't get their vasectomy reversed, but there are also instances of women who are on birth control that
Yeah.
it alters their life forever,
Yes.
or they're on IUDs and then they can never have kids again or whatever. There's always risk to everything. And it's like, I brought this up to friends and family that
Mhm.
absolutely thought this was an insane idea. And I'm like, okay, contraceptives are not just women's responsibility. For
But
fuck's
this
sake.
is what happens in a country where we make everything a woman's responsibility.
That's
It's
right.
her fault if she gets pregnant. It's her fault if she wants to have an abortion. It takes two to tango. And
100%.
and the reality is that it's so much easier to control a man's ejaculation than
Yeah.
it is to control ovulation.
Yeah. Well,
Like, it
and
just
so
is.
So one of the major things that came out today was the fact that there is such a decrease in women giving birth. Like, the birth rate across the world, but especially in the United States, has fallen like some double-digit
Wonder
percentage.
why. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You force women to
Yep.
get pregnant. You force women to have babies. You force women to be in situations they don't want to be in when they have to be with men. Like, why do you think women avoid now wanting to be in relationships and wanting
Yeah.
to be with men and wanting to have babies? Because it's what the patriarchy uses to control us, is our bodies, our choices, our children, and our relationships. So go fuck yourself. To be honest, if I was born today, I love Mark with all my heart. I don't know that I would get married. I don't know that I would have
My
a
child
kid.
says the same thing, that she does
Yeah.
not know that she'll ever get married. And
Right.
I feel like when it comes to the argument about women, what women can and can't do with their bodies, I always pose the question of, tell me one law, one rule, and one state in this nation where a man can't do what he wants to with his body.
Nicole. So
Tell
there
me.
was this great article that came out that was like, if you, let's say a person's in an accident and they are dying and they need an organ, a kidney
Yeah.
that you have and you are a perfect match to,
Mhm.
no court in America can force you
them.
to give up
Mhm.
your kidney to save a life.
Yep.
So the fact that we make women have babies, force them to have babies against their will, when in any other medical circumstance, we would not force them to do that thing, or a man to do that thing. Go fucking fuck yourselves.
Yeah. And then we don't want to provide an easy avenue to
Right.
birth control.
For contraceptives or any of those things.
And if you're going to force women to have babies, then you need to have an easy avenue to childcare,
Yep.
to a living wage, to affordable
Paid
housing,
leave.
to food,
Yep.
to daycare, all the things. Yeah.
Yep.
So
100%.
there's going to be increasing healthcare costs for more than 1 million Medicare enrollees, which, like, we've talked about that, but This actually blocks implementation of an existing regulation that makes it easier for eligible low-income Medicare beneficiaries to enroll in Medicare savings programs that lower Medicare premiums and out-of-pocket costs.
Shocking.
So it will make it MSPs make healthcare accessible for Medicare enrollees who often live on very limited incomes and few assets. Without enrolling in the programs, even modest medical bills become unaffordable and basic access to care can slip out of reach. Blocking the regulation would prevent states from streamlining and automating enrollment into those programs. The Congressional Budget Office has estimated that because of this, 1.3 million Medicare enrollees eligible for those programs will lose them or will forego Medicaid coverage entirely.
So this is so typical of the federal government.
Yeah.
Because MSPs are terrible. They are a blight, an infection on Medicare and Medicaid insurance. But the problem with them is that they're able to negotiate with all of these Medicare providers, and then you have to go through them in order to get these discounted rates.
Yeah.
So instead of regulating the industry, which is what really should happen, or the government providing a way for customers to negotiate directly with providers, instead we have these fucking MSPs, and we're just going to say, well, we're going to outlaw MSPs. Good luck to you. Like, good luck. Now you just have to pay more money. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah. This is a couple on Medicare who are eligible but no longer able to enroll in one of those programs, making a combined $21,000 a year, could see their out-of-pocket costs skyrocket by $8,300. A single Medicare enrollee making only $19,000 a year could see their out-of-pocket costs jump by $3,300 a year if they're unable to enroll in those programs.
Nice. And did you say 1.3 million people? 1.3 million people
eligible for those programs will lose them will potentially lose them or forego their Medicaid coverage entirely because they're unable to afford the assistance.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love this journey for us.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's the old people that voted for him. So hope they enjoy this. So what else you got?
Okay. So some stuff on Snap. This though was interesting because it's taking it away from children aging out of foster care, veterans, and the homeless.
Okay.
Because the paperwork requirement exemptions for vulnerable groups of Americans, including veterans and people experiencing homelessness and youth aging out of foster care, they're estimating 270,000 people in those categories will be kicked off their food assistance for 3 years for not being able to comply with the task of constantly providing proof that they're working enough hours. The groups of SNAP beneficiaries are particularly vulnerable to food insecurity, blah, blah, blah. They have little work experience beyond military service, don't have a permanent address, or have never graduated from high school. So ending those exemptions will cause hunger and poverty to spike among communities that already face severe economic hardships.
Yeah. And so I was watching something that was talking about immigration today, or I read something about immigration today, and they were saying how there were going to be no exemptions for agricultural immigrants. That, sorry, too bad, so sad. Don't worry. There's 43 million able-bodied workers on Medicaid that can start working in the
That's
field.
what I was going to bring up later. Yeah. That was said at a press conference today. Yes.
Insanity.
Yes.
Okay.
Then I have ICE. $30 billion now makes ICE the largest federal law enforcement agency in American history. They are now bigger than the FBI, the CIA, all of it, because of this.
I love that.
The $100 million slush fund. Sorry, I'm trying to go fast.
That's all right.
Public school funding benefits wealthy families. They get a 100% tax credit for individuals who donate to private school voucher funds. And then we allocated $85 million to relocate the space shuttle Discovery from Virginia to Houston's Johnson Space Center because Ted Cruz pushed for it. Gamblers can now only deduct 90% of their losses from their winnings on tax forms. $257 million for the Kennedy Center renovations, which I think is hilarious since Trump doesn't like the arts. It eliminates the $200
But he's the chairman of the Kennedy Center, right?
I know. It's such a joke. And this I thought was interesting because, I've been waiting to hear what Murkowski worked on the back end.
Yeah.
An increased tax deduction for whaling related expenses from 10,000 to 50,000 was
Yes.
secured for her yes vote.
Yeah.
And
Yes, I
10,000 in
heard that.
interest can be deducted on American made card loans for the years 25 to 28 while ending the $7,500 EV tax credit in September.
Yes. So I heard that as well. Some other weird things that I heard. The cap for student loans is now at $200,000.
What do you mean?
Which doesn't sound like a lot, but so the standard cap, so you know how much like you can take out to pay for college. And you know like how much college costs year over year, right? Like
Yeah.
pretty
Like you mean like
expensive.
when we did Riley's loans? Is that what you mean? Like,
Yes.
yeah,
So
yeah.
now in order to get through all of graduate school, the cap on that loan is $100,000. It can't go anywhere higher than $100,000. And if you decide to go to medical school, you can only go up to $200,000.
Oh
In
my
addition to
God.
that, the other big piece that they are doing is they are taking away students' rights to request forbearance, which for anyone that doesn't know, forbearance is when you need to take like, hey, I've got cancer treatments, so I need to pause paying my bills
Student
while I pay
loans.
for my cancer treatment, or I'm
Okay.
having some
Okay.
sort of financial problem, and so I
Hardship.
need to delay payments. So now so it used to be that you could take up to a certain number of months, and generally over the
Mm-hmm.
life of your loan it was like 9 years that you could take off, whether it was to go back to school, whether it was you had again some sort of cancer treatment, whatever it was,
Mm.
you could usually get forbearance and it would go up to whatever. Now what they're saying is that the max total amount of delayed repayment you can take is 9 months, but even during those 9 months you will be forced to pay interest on those loans. So there will be no like reprieve.
Wow.
If you lose your job, you're fucked. Like you are done. So that really
But you
sucks.
can't declare, and you also can't declare bankruptcy and include those in your bankruptcy. So you have, like, what the fuck? What
Okay,
the
so
fuck?
here's the other thing is that Murkowski also, as part of like her backdoor bribery.
For the yes vote. Yes.
That's right. So there was a provision in the bill that delays federal cuts to SNAP for states with higher payment error rates. So these are people that are paying out SNAP benefits incorrectly. So if a state pays out benefits incorrectly, they have a higher payment error rate.
Okay.
Well, what Murkowski, who has a 13% error rate, it's one of the highest states to pay out SNAP benefits incorrectly. She got it in the bill that says if a state has a higher payment error rate, in order to give them time to work on the bureaucracy needed to fix their payment error rates, they are exempt from the reduction. So now what states are saying is all we have to do is get our error rate up, and that will exempt us from having our SNAP benefits cut.
Oh my
The
God.
the whole fucking point of this is to reduce waste and fraud
Uh-huh.
spending.
Uh-huh.
And this doesn't just not do that. It literally encourages,
It incentivizes them
it
to do, yeah.
incentivizes it.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's the other thing that I was thinking about all this too. None of this is about, like, they're going to have all these people fall off these social programs because of these horrible ways that we are now, these obstacles we're putting in front of people in order to help them stay on these very social programs that they need. And then they're going to come out and they're going to be like, look at all this money we're saving. Look at all this waste, fraud, and abuse that we eliminated. And we're literally going to have people dying and starving.
Oh, yeah. 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 Yep. 100%. In fact, so the office of, who was it? The office of congressional budget, somebody, hang on.
Mm-hmm.
I was just, here we go. All right. So the Congressional Budget Office,
Mm-hmm.
who is, I guess, who's over the congressional budget. They estimate that the lowest 3 deciles of household income will lose money from the bill. Right now, it looks like the lowest 10% of income earners will lose almost 4% of their income. 10 to 20% of income in the income range will lose 1.2% of their income, and 20 to 30% income range will lose 0.4% of their income. Net losses will be around, the lowest decile is projected to lose around $1,500 per year from now until 2034. And then
Wow.
$749 per year in the 10 to 20% range, and $312 per year in the next range. Once you hit the 30 to 40% range, your income will go up by 0.1%. And each decile, so each 10% increases until you get to the top. 90 to 100% range of earners, so the top 10% of earners, they are projected to have their income increased by $12,000 per year.
Wow. And they don't need it. They don't
You
need
think?
it.
Yes.
I mean,
yes. Yes. You are not wrong. So by far, the highest earners will be the ones that will get the most benefits from all of these tax cuts that we are passing out.
And they will do the least to pour money back into their communities to help people, to help the local food banks that are now going to be trying to, pick up the slack for people that can't get their SNAP benefits, but then they're not getting their federal dollars to help keep the food banks open. So what the fuck? Like,
what the fuck?
I guess you're just gonna have to, we're all just gonna fucking starve.
Yes. Well, let's be honest. You and I don't have to worry about it as much as those people do, because we are probably not in the lowest 20% of income earners.
No, that's true.
But here's the difference, and we've said this time and time again, between Democrats and Republicans. Even though this likely and hopefully will not affect me and most of the people I know, I am positive there are people that I do know that it will affect. And I'm positive that even the people that I don't know that it will affect detrimentally. And that is absolutely heartbreaking. So anyway, okay. Let's talk about something terrible still.
Okay, let's just keep the train going.
Let's keep the train going. So today, the Supreme Court, speaking of a bunch of people that are unemployed and won't be able to get any benefits, the Supreme Court today removed all blocks for Trump and the Doge firings. So keep in mind that total, there's never been an official count of the total number of people that were let go when the federal government was downsized.
Yeah.
But we know that at least 75,000 federal employees took either the deferred resignation or they were probationary workers that have been let go. So that was at least 75,000. Of course, the estimates are much, much, much higher.
Yeah.
Basically, all of the judges that put in blocks to Trump being able to just unilaterally go in and fire all these people have now been overturned. The Supreme Court basically said that no, that Trump has all the right in the world to fire whoever he wants. Among the agencies affected are the Department of Agriculture, Department of Energy, Labor, the Interior, State, the Treasury, and Veterans Affairs. It also applies to the National Science Foundation, Small Business Association, Social Security Administration, and the EPA.
I mean, at what point do we stop pretending like he's just a regular president?
Yeah.
That's going to leave office in 4 months. This has not even, we are not even 6 months in. Yeah. And the Supreme Court has officially said with this, I feel, there's nothing he can do that there's nothing he can't do. There's nothing he can't do.
Correct. That is 1,000% correct. That, at this point, there is absolutely nothing he can't do.
The lower courts can't hold him accountable. We've already proven we're not going to hold him accountable.
That's right.
And so, this was what his plan was when they stacked the fucking court for the first.
That's exactly right. That's 1,000%. So that is really, really depressing today that came up. But speaking of departments that are woefully underfunded and won't see any funding in the future anytime soon, can we talk about the Texas floods, the Texas storms?
Yes. Oh my God.
Okay.
Yes. It's so devastating.
So Texas flooding, the storms there, you're right. It's absolutely fucking devastating.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, like the fact is that 110 people, including a large number, like 27,
Mhm.
I think was the last count
Yeah.
I
Something
heard,
like that. Yeah.
came from a kid's camp. And
Yeah.
most of those were campers and then a couple of camp counselors, but most of those
Yeah.
were campers.
Yeah.
I know there's been a lot of conversations on the left about and the right about whether or not the Doge cuts to the um, NOAA, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Association, who does a lot of the forecasting and weather
Mhm.
forecasting, and the National Weathercasting Service, that there have been a lot of like, hey, have the cuts actually impacted the ability for the forecast to be right, the warning system to go out correctly for people to understand what's going on. And,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, I've heard from both the left and the right that warnings were coming out, they were getting sent out. Now, the interesting thing to me is that you and I both live in an area that experiences flash flooding.
Mhm.
Generally, we don't have to worry about like death level flash flooding, but
Mhm.
we do get notifications all the time about flash flooding. And honestly, I don't know about you, but I generally ignore those because I'm like,
Because I
man,
don't live close to a river. Mhm.
yeah, well, I don't live close to a river. Now, to your point, like there was one time where AJ and I were down in the Plaza area, and then we were supposed to be
Oh, with
driving
Brush
back up
Creek.
north. We drove across, like, yeah, and all of a sudden we were in like a foot of standing water, and we're like, holy
Mhm.
fucking shit! Like, are we gonna
Yeah.
get swept away? Right? So
Yeah. Yeah.
it happens, and
Yes.
you got to be smart about it. Like, you can't
Yeah.
be stupid about it. So it can happen. But
Yeah.
to your point, we're not near close enough to any rivers or bodies of water that we're going to get swept away and we're going to drown. It's just going to be
Right.
like, oh shit.
And I don't go on float trips anymore for that
Okay.
very reason.
We're not going to discuss the float trips. We're not going to discuss that. We had a traumatic experience on a float trip together a couple decades
With
ago.
rising
She's fine.
water.
She's fine. She's fine. And actually, you're not wrong. It was
No.
exactly this situation
Yes.
where there was a storm and all of a sudden, like flood level waters to the point that we get back to our campsite and the campground has evacuated
We are the
and
only ones.
we're the only ones. And to your point, we're not getting cell service and
No.
there's no weather notification
Mm-mm.
service.
Mm-mm.
So to your point, like here in the Midwest, if there's a tornado warning, there are tornado warnings. We
Mm-hmm.
hear it, we know it, we get underground, we like protect ourselves. There is nothing like that for flash floods. And you and I, we were all smart. I was pregnant at the time, so luckily I hadn't been drinking.
Mm-hmm.
You and Jessica especially were like freaking out about just being
Mm-hmm.
out in weather anyway. So we had the presence of mind to say, fuck this bullshit,
Yeah,
throw
we
our
gotta
shit in the
go.
back of the car, let's get the fuck home. And we did. We
Yeah.
went home and we were very happy that we did that.
Yeah.
But if we were 15-year-old kids at a camp, because here's the
And I
reality.
think some of that came up at night when they were in
It all did.
bed.
So
Yeah.
what happened? So they issued a flash flood watch 12 hours before the flooding occurred, which I get it. But again, I hear flash flood watch. We might be under a flash flood watch right goddamn now. I
Well,
have
we
no
could be
idea.
under a tornado watch and we're just kind of like, okay. Because the
Okay,
warning
good
is
to
when you
know.
grab your ass.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right. The tornado warning came 3 hours before the floods hit, but it still was at like 1 a.m.
Oh. And to your point, there's no siren going off.
There's
There's
no
nothing to
siren.
wake anybody up.
That's right. And so at the end of the day, like, great. They keep saying that, the weather service forecasted that this could happen. They put out warnings, like it came out, and I get it. But the reality is, and people have come out to say that an NOAA official came out and stated that the vacancy of the warning coordinator meteorologist position at the Austin San Antonio office likely had a direct impact on the ability to get all warnings out. And with that being said, like, I'm not so into let's point fingers at what has happened before. But the reality is that we are in a position now where we know that this is a problem. Like, I get Donald Trump is like, well, no one could have predicted this. Yes, they could have. And if we had had a better warning system in place, the deaths likely could have been prevented.
Yeah.
So nearly a decade before catastrophic, this comes from US, I think this came from the US USA Today. I think this came from USA Today. So nearly a decade before catastrophic flooding in South Texas killed at least 95 people, which again, we're up to 110, I think now. The state's Division of Emergency Management denied a request from the county where the camp is held for a $1 million grant to improve its flood warning systems. Then Tom Moser, the county commissioner, envisioned designated point people who would go to camps and monitor websites for notifications of possible flash floods so that they could get camp counselors to get their campers out and to safety. That was the point of what they were trying to do. And because these states had no money, which, by the way, we have cut their funding, they're like, sorry, we don't have any money for it. We can't help you. Mm-hmm. That is what is, in my mind, at stake with so much of these budgetary cuts. I get we want to make the government smaller. I get that Republicans want to make government smaller, but this is what you're affecting, just so you know.
And this is part of the fallacy that we've talked about in previous podcasts about the whole, we just need to turn everything back over to the states. We just need to turn everything back over to the states. We have talked about how you can't do that for this fucking reason, because turning everything over to the states sounds great in theory, but then they've also cut the funding to the fucking states.
That's right.
So then people die from that. And this isn't a matter of, because what kills me is that I have seen two different situations with him in the press and someone else from his administration in the press where they quickly blamed Biden.
Yeah.
And Biden cuts for these deaths in Texas and then tried to walk it back, because that is their knee-jerk reaction, is to blame the guy before him for why this is happening and then try to walk it back like...
Sometimes he blames himself. Yeah. Like with NATO, sometimes he'll be like, well, we're in these horrible Canadian free trade agreements. Motherfucker, you're the one that put us there. Yes. But you're right. That is his fucking knee-jerk reaction is, we're just going to blame someone else, even if that person is me 5 years ago.
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, you're 100% right. So that's why, like we've discussed repeatedly, the fallacy of turn everything over to the states. This is why
that's exactly right.
Work. That's why you can't defund FEMA, because Texas just got fucking flooded, and guess who does? They didn't even have the money for the goddamn warning system. You think they got the money to rebuild?
That's right.
Jesus Christ.
That's right.
not how this gig fucking works, folks. This is part of what we pay federal taxes for.
That's right. And again, we've talked over and over and over again about how Republicans only care when it affects them. And so, like, I want to make it very, very clear that in this case, like, your lawmakers tried to bring about something that would explicitly prevent this type of death and destruction.
Lives. Yeah.
And you said no. Yeah. You said no.
Yeah.
And it will only continue. So that's the reality, is like, hey, if this was, 9/11 occurred, and by God, we made sure that we put in TSA and spent millions and millions of dollars on making sure that we never encountered a bomb on a plane again. Mm-hmm. In this case, like, we are seeing natural disasters over and over and over again. Mm-hmm. We know they're going to continue because of climate change. And yet it's still like, well, sucks to be you guys. Hey, I hate this for you, but
this is a once in every 100-year storm. Except we're having multiple of those every fucking summer.
That's right. We're seeing these. We are having death and destruction every year from some type of natural disaster. Give me a fucking break.
Yeah.
So again, this is one more instance where, number one, climate change has to be a priority.
Yes.
And then number two, like, cutting the federal government is not the answer. Like, no. If we keep cutting the federal government and then trying to put money towards, because I guarantee you, if you go down and you ask these Texans that live in Kerr County that just either lost their children to camp and say, would you rather have spent $1 million on a better warning system that would have told your camp counselors to get your children out of there, or to make sure that we're like preventing ICE, like that we're funding ICE? Which one would you prefer? I guarantee you that they're going to pick saving their child's life. And if they
Yeah.
don't, they're fucking insane and they
Yeah.
should be locked up themselves.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how anybody buys the lie of we need to cut the federal government. We need to eliminate this waste, fraud, and abuse while we give $30 billion to immigration reform.
Yes.
And making ICE the largest federal military police. I mean, this is what I'm not going to go back. I'll get into that with immigration later, whatever. But I'm just like, how do we do this?
I feel like,
how do you do this and you swallow it whole?
Right. So I feel like this is a perfect time for you to give us some information on immigration.
Segue into immigration.
Yes. Yes. So speaking of immigration.
Yes. Because I do want to say when I jump into this caveat that I feel like that $30 billion for ICE is now allowing, when we just talked about the Supreme Court, and now we can just stop pretending that Trump is a president that's ever going to leave at this point.
Right.
I also want people, for me, this is how I see this $30 billion that's getting handed to ICE. They've now become his military. I mean, they're his military.
That's right.
They will be the ones that start. I mean, they already are arresting citizens. Yep. They will be the brown shirts that are goose stepping in the streets for him. He doesn't need the Marines to do it. He doesn't need the Army to do it because ICE now has more funding than the FBI and the CIA. Like,
that's right.
So like they're his new.
Yeah, we should call it ICE SS. Like that is who they are. They are the ICE SS. And I 1000% agree. They are Trump's army. This is who they are.
Yep.
And there's a reason why Trump wanted to make sure they were the largest organization in all of our military. There's a reason for sure.
Yeah. So I do know that there was something that happened yesterday, and I did not have time to get a bunch of notes on it, where we had Border Patrol and ICE agents in a park in Los Angeles. Karen Bass showed up. I didn't get a bunch of I did not get any notes on that, but I know that it was like, I don't think they made any arrests, but it was a clear intimidation tactic. But what I do have is on Mr. Abrego Garcia. I have an update on Mr. Abrego Garcia. Stephen Miller was on Jesse Waters' show, I believe, yesterday.
Oh God, that guy.
Mm-hmm. So the head Nazi was on Jesse Waters' show talking about Kilmar Abrego Garcia, referring to him as an illegal alien terrorist. So now we're just throwing fucking words around.
That's right.
He's not a terrorist. He doesn't even fit the fucking definition of a terrorist.
Nope.
Well, Jesse Waters said, I wish he was kind of getting tortured a little bit.
Okay.
So now I want to follow that up with the fact that Kilmar Abrego Garcia filed a lawsuit in Maryland federal court regarding his treatment. And he filed a lawsuit against our government about the treatment that he received after he was deported to CCOT. So he is alleged that he faced psychological torture, severe beatings, severe sleep deprivation, and inadequate nutrition in the Supermax prison. He says he lost 31 pounds in his time at the prison. He was only at CCOT from March 14th to April 10th, so just shy of 4 weeks, before they then transferred him to a lower security prison in Santa Ana, El Salvador, where he stayed until he was returned on June 6th to the United States. Wow. After 3 weeks at CCOT, he states he was transferred to a different area within the prison, where he was photographed with a bed with a mattress and better food. But that, of course, was after probably when they knew that that one senator was going to come see him. Yeah. As well, we already have human rights abuses being reported at Alligator Alcatraz. So detainees are reporting that there's a lack of water. Shocking. I mean,
I'm so surprised.
Everglads.
Yeah.
Maggot contaminated food.
Oh, shocking.
24-hour lighting, which that's CCOT. Mosquito infestations, confiscation of religious items, and denial of medical care. The builders of the detention.
No, wait. But Human said last week that ICE is curing.
Oh, that's right. Is curing.
That's right. Syphilis. So what do you mean a denial of medical care?
Denial of medical care.
ICE has saved people from the gonorrhea that is rampant in the immigration community, apparently.
So yes.
And so I don't know what you're talking about. That's insane.
Yes. So the builders of the detention center, it's come out, are top DeSantis donors who secured tens of millions in no bid or emergency contracts, including CDR McGuire / CDR Health, which is run by Carlos Duarte, a major GOP donor, Gotham's LLC, IRG, ARS, and Garter World. The deals reveal a clear pay-to-play pattern backed by documented political contributions. And I want to say this, and then I'll let you talk. When I was seeing all this last week and how quickly they got this fucking thing built up, and the people that live down there that are like, there's no sanitation down here. Where are they putting the human
Poop.
waste that's
Where are they
coming
putting poop?
from these prisoners? Like, you can't dump that in the Everglades. The Everglades is a protected area. All these things, right? At the same time, I was seeing on social media posts people that were saying the alligators are going to eat good, this, that, and the other, like saying these horrible, heinous things about feeding human beings to these alligators. Again, human beings that have not been convicted of a crime, that are just being tossed into
detained for no reason.
Detained for, and they've not had due process.
Nope.
And then I'm sitting there and I'm like, and yet, are these the same people that are like, I don't understand how Auschwitz got built?
Right.
And was ran, and how people didn't see this is how, because we have people buying fucking merch for Alligator Alcatraz, and they would have bought Auschwitz merch if this was Germany in the 40s.
Yes.
Like, 100%. What the fuck is going on?
Yeah. Yep.
And then today, to the point that you made earlier, U.S. Secretary of Ag Brooke Rollins suggested that able-bodied adults in the Medicaid program could be used by farmers to address their labor shortages caused by mass deportations of migrant farm workers. She said it with a straight fucking face to the press today. She stated there will be no amnesty for immigrant farm workers and that mass deportations will continue in a strategic way, and that a combination of automation and 100% American participation through the Medicaid program, the work requirements, could fill the labor gaps left by deported workers.
Well, I'm just absolutely like, are you kidding me? I watched I think it was a Jon Stewart, but maybe John Oliver this week, that was like specifically Latino Trump voters who are now regretting their vote. And it's like happening over.
You're having
and
a lion
over
eating the
over.
face type situation. Yes.
Yeah. And so at this point, like it's hard for me. So I have a friend of mine who, she had a family member that was detained over the weekend by ICE here. I think it was here in Kansas City. And just you could tell how devastating it is for the family. You don't know what's going to happen. Are they going to get deported? Are they going to be sent to one of these
Sometimes
camps?
You can't get a hold of them.
That's right. You can't get a hold of them. You don't know what's happening with them. I mean, it's just absolutely fucking devastating. But, at the end of the day, it's like, again, fuck around and find out. You will support these prisons while they're this. Once these prisons open up for you, let's see what happens. You know what I'm saying?
Because that's the thing that I think people tend to, especially white people that don't want to pay attention to history, is that they don't think it's ever coming for them.
That's right. That's what happened with the Nazis. Like we saw it. That's what happened with the Nazis, is at the end of the day, like, it started with the gays. Then it moved on to the Jews.
And then it started.
That's right. That's right.
Yep.
And then it just kept expanding until only the select few were left. And let's make no mistake about it. The assault on Medicaid, the assault on SNAP benefits, the assault on taxes, it's all because the right wing hates fucking poor people. So if you're a fucking poor person, you're next.
Stop voting for them.
Stop voting
for them.
Honestly,
and at this point, I would almost
keep voting for them.
Yeah.
Keep voting for them. Feel fucking free.
Maybe at this point, you should go out and commit a major crime, because then you can get put in our prison system and you can get 3 hots and a cot. You can get the same kind of health care that our government employees get, that our elected officials get off of your back while they're taking away your health care.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
What a time to be alive.
Right. Yes.
What a time to be alive.
Yes.
Can I just say, it is so typical of me to be like doing a podcast and eating while I'm on the Like, what kind of podcaster does this? I don't think there's any other podcaster that's like, I'm going to take a
This
bite.
is just one of our things that makes us unique. It's fine.
That's
Because
right.
everyone
Like,
here is family. We have everything is very free will, like whatever you want
I
to do.
know. I'm
And
sorry,
democracy is
everyone.
collapsing. Eat your fucking food, girl. Who cares?
That's right. The whole
Who
world is
fucking cares?
collapsing. So I'm going to keep eating my protein
Yes.
bar. So it is
Yes.
what it is.
Who fucking cares?
All right. Let's talk about
Yeah.
the world collapsing.
Yeah.
So Donald Trump had a cabinet meeting today.
My stupid job. I didn't even know that a cabinet meeting happened. I need you to tell me right now.
It was interesting. So
Okay,
there
what was
were
it about?
all sorts of things. So
Oh God. Okay.
they had their cabinet meeting, and then of course there was a question and answer period afterwards. And it was really the question and answer period where things got interesting.
Oh, okay.
So the first thing, I know you have some notes on the Epstein file. So we'll talk about that in a second.
Just a little bit. Yeah.
So at one point, a question came up about Epstein. Basically, it was like, hey, Pam Bondi, you had talked about that there was a file that contained like the list from Epstein.
Yeah. It's on your desk or something like that.
You said it was on your desk. We haven't seen it yet. What the fuck is going on? And there were also allegations that Epstein was actually part of one of our federal agencies, like maybe part of the CIA or the FBI. Can you confirm or deny whether or not that was the case? So Pam Bondi starts to answer this. Donald Trump jumps in and he goes, wait. Can I say something here? And Pam Bondi, of course, is like, because she's like the second ultimate pick me, is like, oh, of course. You go right ahead.
Yes, please do sir.
Yes, you go right on ahead, regime.
Yes.
Donald Trump goes, is that really what you want to ask? Like, is that really what we want to talk about? Like, there is so much more going on in this world. Are you really bringing up
here? Don't ask about the man
Are
behind
you
the
really
curtain.
fucking bringing up Epstein after all that? Like, he didn't say fuck in this case. I shouldn't say fuck, but he was like, are we still talking about this? Like, Epstein. Like, do we really need to talk about this anymore? That's just crazy.
Oh my God.
So then he's like, okay, take it away, Pam Bondi. So she's like, okay, well, I'm happy to answer it. So the answer she gave was very like, well, at the time I said the Epstein file, I meant the Epstein files on my desk and I just need to review that. And so,
so now it's a file. It's not the hit list because I'm pretty sure you said it was the hit list, bitch.
Right. And then she's like, and I have no evidence that he is part of any of the intelligence community. No, that's crazy. That's not happening. Okay. So then.
Can we talk about Pizzagate though? Let's talk about Pizzagate.
Right.
Can we talk about the Clintons?
Right. So then someone brought up Putin. So it's the really like hot reporter from CNN, that girl with like the really good mouth.
Is it Caitlin Collins?
Yep, Caitlin.
Oh, I love her. Yes, she is super hot.
Yeah, she's super hot. Okay. Like, yes, like I want to be her when I grow up, even though she's like half my age. Which, bitch, by the way, they were advertising me the other day that seniors born before 1979.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, but I was born in 79 and you're not, but like 2 years, 2 years more than me?
2 years older than
seniors?
Me. Yes, ma'am. So apparently at 45, we are considered seniors. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, I digress. Husa. Anyway.
I'm horrified. I can't even get Medicare yet.
I know. You can't retire. That's for fucking sure. No. You can't get Medicare. Like, you're screwed.
Oh my
anyway.
God.
So she asked about Putin and like, hey, are you getting any type of good intelligence from Putin? And his comment is very close to, and he uses this word, everything out of that guy's mouth is bullshit at this point. He's very nice. Like, we get along. I like him, but really everything that comes out of his mouth is bullshit. And I can't believe anything that he says.
The lover's quarrel is deep.
Right? All of his BFFs are turning on the man.
They really are. First, I mean, Musk is like wanting to start his own political party.
Oh, not just wanting to. He announced it today. It's the America Party.
He did?
But he hasn't come out with what the agenda is yet.
Oh, shocking.
So we'll see what it is. I went out and looked at the America PAC to see what like is on there. And it's like pro-life, pro-guns, but the
anti-poor people. So it's like Trump
basically.
stuff, but it's like
Right.
yeah.
But
So interesting, because I also saw today that Netanyahu wants to nominate Trump for the
oh yeah. Yes.
I almost said
Nobel
the
Peace
Pulitzer.
Prize
That would
for
be incorrect.
orchestrating. Yeah.
Yes, the Nobel
So
Peace Prize. Yeah.
that's right.
That's
So
right.
Caitlin issues a follow-up that's like, are you considering sanctions against Russia?
Russia. Yeah.
And
Now that you
he's
guys
like,
are in a bad place.
and Trump's like, I'm exploring everything. So we'll see what that
I'm
means.
exploring everything. He's
So
like,
then,
Tony, call me. Oh God. Oh my God. There's more. It's just unhinged.
so then he was asked about the mayoral election
In New York.
in
Donnie
New York, which I think you know, he really
does not like
does
Mom
not
Donnie.
like Mom Donnie.
No.
Yep,
No.
he really doesn't.
No.
In response, he suggested a federal takeover of New York City and possibly Washington, D.C. The comments came when Trump, during a meeting of his cabinet at the White House, was asked about New York City's upcoming mayoral election. He said, we're not going to have, if a communist gets elected to run New York, it can never be the same. But we have tremendous power at the White House to run places when we have to. Trump says.
What?
Right.
So
he didn't elaborate on what authority that would be, but then he turns his focus to the nation's capital and says, sorry, I have something in my throat. I apologize.
that's okay.
We could run DC. We're looking at DC. We don't want crime in DC. We want the city to run well. He said his chief of staff, Susie Wiles, was working with Washington Mayor Muriel Bowser.
So, like, is he talking about invoking the Powers Act? What the fuck is it? Where he could
what he's using for like the border wall and all of that, the ICE stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, where he could just send martial law, where he could just declare martial law.
Yeah. He hasn't said, but
and of course he's not wrong. The Supreme Court has told him you can do whatever the fuck you want, whenever the fuck you want. It doesn't matter. If they're not willing to lay down and let you come in willingly, then just fucking storm on them. You got ICE agents to do it.
Indeed, you have the largest
federal police force
intelligence. Yeah. Yes.
What the fuck, James?
Yeah.
What in the fuck is happening?
I don't know, but so we're pissed at Putin. We're pissed that people are still talking about Epstein, and we're thinking about taking over New York. That was just today.
Do you think Putin's going to release the P tapes now?
So they did. So what I understand is they released the tapes, but a minute is missing in it.
Oh no, I mean the P tapes from when Trump was in Russia for the Miss America.
Oh God, I know. Oh God, I know. I'm dying.
But I didn't know that. I knew that they were going to release the Epstein tape, so they have released them.
So Bondi made a comment today during the conversation that indicated the tapes have been released, and she doesn't know what happened to the minute that is missing. But I have not done any research, so I don't want to report out that yes, this happened until I get a chance to look it over.
What does she mean? We don't know what happened to the last minute.
So that's what I'm saying. I don't want to talk about it because I might be misreporting something.
I bet you're not. I bet you're fucking not. I bet you're
right. I don't want to be like Fox News here.
Yeah, right. But, Jesse Waters. Yes. I bet you're right on target, though. I would not be shocked by any of that.
So what do you have on the Epstein?
All I have is that there was no evidence that he blackmailed powerful figures or kept a client list, and no indication that he was murdered. The suicide ruling stands. No further arrests or charges were expected, and that Musk was mocking Trump on X with that DOJ announcement. But we clearly don't believe that there is no blackmail list, right?
No, we know there was.
That for a second. Yeah.
No, not for 2 seconds. And we don't believe that it was suicide. Nobody fucking believes it's suicide. Right. Absolutely not. Well, it's not fucking
what's funny suicide. Is that the MAGA followers are mad about this, I think, because the Clintons were the ones that were being touted as the murderers of 100%. Epstein. And so then this doesn't fit the narrative that they've been told by Daddy Trump this entire time about what happened with Epstein.
That's right. That's right. Okay, I have two other quick things because I know we're reaching the end of our time and we still need to address our happy ending.
Yes.
Number one.
Yeah.
Since it is Tuesday, right? It's Tuesday, yes?
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
In the spirit of Taco Tuesday,
Shit. Okay.
Trump is delaying tariffs now until August 1st.
I
He
mean, he's
guaranteed
busy.
that we would
He's
have,
busy.
right, that, well, he had to golf on the 5th and the 6th. And so, right,
Right. He
that's
didn't have
okay.
time to concentrate on this properly.
That's right. He guaranteed that we would have some type of agreement in place with at least 20 different nations by July 9th. July 9th is tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
The last time I checked, we had two, I think,
Oh,
the
that's good.
UK and
Great track record.
Vietnam. Right. So we still have a bunch of, so what did Trump do in order to like get more deals on the table? Sorry.
You're okay.
He sent out a strongly worded email.
Girl, not the email.
Just like a Karen. Just like a goddamn
and you
Karen.
know that shit went right into the fucking spam folder of every
I love
goddamn
it.
country that got
Yes.
it.
He sent out a tariff threat letter to all of the nations saying,
Wow.
if you don't comply, they are going to go into effect August 1st. Bitch sent a Karen email. I shit you fucking not.
Oh my God. Let me talk to your manager right now.
That's right. As of right now, he's saying that a 50% tariff on copper imports is coming. He is also threatening a 200% tariff on pharmaceuticals.
Oh my God.
As of right now, the value of the dollar has gone down by almost 10% against almost all the other major currencies around the world.
Oh my
And
God.
Chinese exports are down 9.7% because of the costs of goods. So
Yikes.
love that for us. So yes, it's Taco Tuesday today. The other thing that I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
And so we are a little bit separated from this, but as you guys all know, I still watch Jon Stewart. I love Jon Stewart. He is like an amazing guy. And this came up on his show yesterday again. So I wanted to bring it up because I've teased about it in a couple of episodes. And so I wanted to talk about it. So last week, Paramount settled a lawsuit that basically was Donald Trump sued them because 60 Minutes had edited an interview with Kamala Harris for the sake of brevity, which it's pretty standard. They came out and they were like, yeah, we edited a interview with you for the sake of brevity. And it was around whether or not he was going to release the Epstein files. So like, it's kind of full circle, right?
Yeah.
But basically she went on and on trying to explain something that they were like, okay, finally the answer is just yes. And so that's what they like reduced it to.
Yeah.
Every lawyer, every judge, every legal expert from here to Timbuktu has said this lawsuit holds no water. If you go to court, there's absolutely no way that Trump is going to win this lawsuit. However, Trump appoints the FCC nominees or commissioners.
Mm-hmm.
The FCC commissioners are responsible for approving or denying media conglomerate
licenses.
Yes. Licenses and
like
merger.
If they merge.
Paramount right now is trying to merge with Skydance Media, who, by the way, is owned by a super right-wing asshole. So right now, Paramount and Skydance, if they merge, it's an $8 billion deal.
Oh my God.
So Paramount has said we are selling our soul to ensure the FCC for $16 million. Jon Stewart is absolutely beside himself because I guess maybe a year ago, the news director for Paramount was given the like Freedom in Journalism Award. And she literally got up and said, it is critical at this time of our lives that we maintain this freedom in journalism and maintain our journalistic integrity and the right to free reporting.
My God.
Blah, 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 blah. And now we have paid him $16 million rolled over in order to make sure that we can go through with this merger. So while it's not, again, probably as egregious as some of the other things that we have had on our list tonight, I bring it up because we have seen in multiple places the threat to our democracy. And this is just one more clear cut The
Yeah.
only way that you and I are able to continue this conversation is if we all have the freedom of speech, and
Yeah.
if we can go out and research our journalists on both sides of the aisle.
Yes.
You and I both, I think, try and do a good job of trying to find what is the
Independent sources.
that's
Yeah.
right, on both sides. We want to make
Yeah.
sure that like we're getting
Yeah.
like what the reality is. I don't just go to CNN and get my news from
Right.
there. I
Right.
go to respected journalistic sources to try and get
Yeah.
as real as I can, including like the BBC and the
Al
Associated Press
Jazeera.
and
Yeah.
Reuters and yes,
Yeah.
all of those. And I even have quoted articles from Fox fucking News at times.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of the day, like not having journalists, freedom of the press is a huge, huge
But
impact to
that's
our
part of the
ability
playbook.
to remain a free nation. So
It's
I just
part
want
of
to
the
bring that up very quickly.
autocracy playbook. This is what they do.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
on that depressing note,
Wow. Would you like your happy ending?
I would like my happy ending.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
So this has to do with the floods,
Okay.
but it's a happy story.
Okay.
So a solitary rescuer leads 165 children to safety during recent
Oh.
Texas flood. So, a little known Coast Guard officer has been hailed as a hero after rescuing 165 people from the Texas Hill Country. Petty officer and rescue swimmer Scott Ruskin, a native of New Jersey, was on the scene when the Guadalupe River rose dramatically, causing flooding after 5 to 11 inches of rain fell in a short amount of time.
Yeah.
It was his first rescue mission.
Holy crap.
He remained calm and reactive as he responded to search and rescue calls at Camp Mystic, which is the girls' camp,
Yeah.
where we've still got people missing and
Yeah.
presumed dead.
Yeah.
Flying to the camp in a helicopter, he said he saw a huge crowd of about 200 kids at a campsite. He said the conditions for flying produced by Tropical Storm Barry were some of the worst he's ever seen, and the pilot needed 4 attempts before he could land the helicopter.
Oh my God.
This kid said there was no other way to get them out. The bridges were gone, the roadways were gone, and the water was coming up too high for a boat rescue.
Oh my
Cell
God.
service was bad. Radio reception was bad on my comms. I really didn't have any communication with the outside for almost 3 hours.
Oh my
Despite
God.
not knowing what was going on around him, he remained focused and led 165 people, mostly children, in groups of 10 to 15 to Army helicopters, which would then airlift them to higher ground.
Wow.
Department of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem, called him an American hero in a post on X, though like all good heroes, he said he was just doing his job and one that anybody could have done.
Yeah. Well, we know that not anyone could have done
Could
it.
have done it. No.
Right. So
No.
that is an amazing story.
Nicely done. Nicely
Yes.
done. Yes.
Good
So
job.
165 people lived because of him.
What was his name?
So his name is Petty Officer and Rescue Swimmer Scott Ruskin of native New Jersey.
Oh, I
And
love
there's
that
a-
he's from New Jersey.
He's from New Jersey. Yes. And this was his
Yeah.
first time. And I called him a kid. To me, he's younger than us, obvious seniors that were
Well,
born
he's not a
in
senior.
79 or older. Correct. Exactly.
That's right.
Yes. So
Oh my God, he's 26 years old. He's a
he is a
child.
kid. Like
Yes.
he's 4 years older than my own child. Yeah, he's a total kid. Yeah.
Indeed. He has a
So,
cute little
yes.
mustache though. So
he
good for him.
does. Yes.
Yeah.
Very Top Gun of him. Yeah. So
Yes, he
I-
does. He looks like a Top Gun.
Yeah. Yeah. So 165 people lived to go home to their families because of him. So
Nice.
congratulations to him.
I love
Yeah.
that. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's a nice happy ending. And honestly, like if he hadn't been there, like
Yeah.
it could have been so much worse. I
I've
mean,
never thought about water being too high for a fucking boat rescue. How goddamn
Yeah.
high does water have to be for a boat rescue to be not advisable now? I guess
well,
how would
my
you get the boat
assumption
there?
is like,
Like it's
well,
gonna go.
right. My assumption is it can't dock. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like how could it dock? How could it, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I wonder if that is the problem. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I don't either.
I don't know.
Like it just,
But regardless.
yeah.
Yeah.
Thank God for him and the helicopters and
Yes.
that they got these people out.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, it's been a rough one today. We had a lot of like,
Doom and gloom and bleakness.
I think this is probably with the one big beautiful bill passing, the Supreme Court ruling that came today.
Yeah.
A lot of things are hitting home.
Mhm.
that really, I think I've held out hope that we weren't going to see, or we were going to see not come to fruition. And that's just not the case right now. So I appreciate you having a happy ending. And I think that the moral of this story is the fact that like, we're going to have to rescue each other as much as we can.
100%, because they're
And
not, I
so,
mean, yes, he is part of the government that came in and helped, you know what I'm saying? But like
yep,
ultimately, we aren't gonna be able to rely on them.
that's right. We're not going to be able to rely on our government. So we're going to have to rely on each other.
Yeah.
And so, with that, we appreciate you guys liking, subscribing, sharing
Yes.
this podcast as much as you can. But
Yes.
even if you don't, even if you can't, and even if you are like, no, these bitches are crazy, and I don't want people to know that, like, I listen to crazy bitches, I totally understand. We still love you. We
Yes.
still hope that you guys are hanging on, as we only
Yes.
have, what did you say, 462
We
days?
have, hold on, no, 482.
Okay. Well,
I'm
I
sorry,
tried.
482. Yes,
Okay, I
482.
tried. But I will live in hope that other socialist, progressive party
Yes.
members start rising.
Communists.
Yep,
Yes.
that's right. And in all fairness, like, I am holding out just a little bit of hope that Elon Musk does the right thing and actually creates a political party that people resonate with. So we'll see what happens.
Yes.
But at the end of
Yes.
the day,
That's
who
right.
knows?
If nothing
Thank
else,
you
it'll
all for
split the vote
listening.
on the right.
That's right. If nothing else, if he's going to create something that's based on his American pact, then if nothing else, it splits the vote on the right. So you're
Yeah.
exactly right for that.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Well, thank you all for listening. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please feel free to leave any comments that you'd like. And again, feel free to like, subscribe, share, all those fun things. We love you, and we'll talk to you later.
That's right.
Bye.
Bye.